For exercise 80, we need to use this front basic bodice with waist dart only. And as we always do, we need to trace this bodice to create a working pattern. So I'm going to mark these corner points. But I'm not going to mark the dart point, but we need to mark this bust point, because we need to extend our dart legs till the bust point, as we did for exercise 8. So again, I'm not gonna mark the dart starting point, but bust point, as well as these dart legs end points. Continue to mark these intersection points. And we need to trace the neckline as well as the armhole line. And don't forget to mark notch. Now I'm going to connect these points by using a ruler. And again, we need to connect these dart legs till the bust point. And make sure to mark notch. So this is bust point. Next, we are going to cut this pattern. So cut the outline of this pattern. So I cut this working pattern, and we need to find the midpoint on the neckline, and you can use your see-through ruler, which is very flexible, or you can use your measuring tape as well. So you're able to bend your ruler to measure the length of this neckline to find the midpoint. So it's about 2 inches. So I'm going to mark at 1 inch point. I marked midpoint here, and let's label this one as C. So this is C, and we're going to label A for the start leg here, and B for the other dart leg here. So we have A, B, and C for the mid neck point. Yep. And now you need to place your working pattern on this empty paper. And I drew this guideline, but you don't need to draw this guideline on your working pattern. I just would like to explain to you which part we would like to trace first. So we're gonna trace this part of working pattern first. So we're gonna trace only this part first. So you need to mark this mid-neck point and draw the neckline. And I'm going to mark these corner points as well as the bust point. And now I'd like to trace this part, complete tracing this part first. Like this. So label this as A, and I'm going to place my pattern here. So this part of the dart leg, the side of the dart leg should touch this line here, and the dart leg B should touch A on paper. So there are two important points that you need to match. So B should touch A, and the bust point should be matched well. And now we need to trace the left part of this working pattern. So I'm going to mark these intersection points. And in the case of neckline, we only need to trace the half of this neckline until the midpoint here. So I'm going to mark the midpoint and trace the neckline. And armhole, I'm going to draw several dashed lines. And we need to mark this notch. So it should look like this. And I'm going to connect. And in the case of this hemline, I'm going to use curved ruler or French curve. And we need to true this line. Like this. And I'm going to use my French curve to complete my armhole. And mark notch. And now we need to draw a new dart. So let's connect. These points. So this is BP, bus point, right? And according to your textbook, we need to move dart point 5/8 inches up from this bus point. But since we're drifting our patterns in a half scale, we need to move 5/16 inches from the bus point. So the center, the dart point 5/16 inches from the bus point. And you always need to place your ruler in the middle of your dart legs. And the last thing we need to do is adding seam allowance to this final pattern. And as I explained, we need to add 1/4 for the neckline and 1/2 inches for the other part. But we need to divide these measurements by half, right? So we need to add 1/8 for the neckline and 1/4 for the other parts. Again, when you add the seam allowance for the curved line, for example the neckline, you need to mark several points. So we need to add 1/8. So I'm going to mark several points as a guideline. Here as well. And when you add the seam allowance for the waistline or the hemline, make sure to add the seam allowance from the trued line, not the original line. And you don't need to add anything for the center front, right, since this is cut on fold. So I added seam allowance, so 1/8 for the neck and 1/4 for the other part. And we need to mark cut on fold along the center front line. need to put center front, CF, here. And you need to label your patterns correctly. So for the working pattern, you need to put exercise number, exercise 80, front bodies, size 8 half scale, cut 1, your name, date, and put working pattern. Final pattern, you need to put exercise number as well, front bodies, size 8 half size, cut 1, name, date, and final pattern. Okay? Alright, so this is what you need to do for exercise 80.